For centuries, the galaxy had moved on without Earth. The planet that once called itself the cradle of humanity was now nothing more than a burnt mark on the star charts. Every race, every historian, every scholar agreed, humanity was gone forever. Their cities had fallen silent, their colonies lost, their name remembered only in warning tales told to curious younglings, never become like the humans. In the great archives of the Galactic Council, Earth was listed simply as extinct, self-terminated. Yet one being did not agree. His name was Tirvac, a Zalorian historian with silver eyes and an obsession for forgotten civilizations. Where others saw ashes, he saw questions. Where others felt disgust, he felt curiosity. For years, he had studied old human transmissions, fragmented voices, broken signals, laughter mixed with static. The humans had always seemed different. Their emotions were wild, unpredictable, but full of life. And that fascinated him. On the day his new museum exhibit was to open, Extinct Civilizations, Humanity, Tirvac stood before the holographic ruins of Earth. The image showed a cracked planet covered in dark oceans and burned clouds. It looked truly dead. But as he watched, his console blinked once. Then again. A small notification appeared, incoming transmission, origin, Sol system. Tirvac froze. That couldn't be right. He double-checked the coordinates. It was coming from Earth. At first, he thought it was a system error. But when the message unfolded, the room grew silent. The transmission was weak and distorted, filled with static and broken sound waves. But slowly, the image formed, a blurry, human face. It was smiling. Not a sinister smile, not a digital glitch. A calm, confident human smile. Tirvac stared at it for several seconds, unable to breathe. The face seemed alive. "Impossible," he whispered. "There are no humans left." He tried to trace the signal, but it bounced between multiple relay points, some ancient, some unknown. It was like the sender wanted to be found, but not followed. He downloaded the image and sent it to the Galactic Council for verification. Within hours, they replied. The message was simple: dismissed. Artificial hoax. But Tirvac couldn't let it go. Something about that smile felt real. He analyzed the data again and found something the Council had missed. Hidden inside the image code was a pattern, an encryption method used only in old human military transmissions. He spent all night decoding it, and when he finally succeeded, he found a set of coordinates. They pointed directly to Earth's surface. "The planet is supposed to be uninhabitable," Tirvac murmured. "No life signs, no atmosphere capable of support." Yet the coordinates led to a point deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, right where humans once tested their earliest underwater technologies. Curiosity burned stronger now. He decided to contact an old friend, an astro-engineer named Kleena. She owed him a favor. When he showed her the image, her tendrils tightened. "It's a smile," she said. "But the reflection in the eyes, it's showing something." Tirvac zoomed in, adjusting the filters. The reflection in the human's eye showed something metallic and curved. After enhancing it further, Tirvac's heart raced. The object reflected in the human eye was unmistakable. It was his own ship. Kleena stepped back in shock. "That's not possible. This image came from centuries ago." Tirvac felt cold. The signal had not just been a message, it was a mirror. Whoever sent it knew who would see it. "They're watching us," he said softly. That night, he stood alone on the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The quiet hum of the station felt heavier now. Across the galaxy, millions slept peacefully, believing humans were dust on the wind. But Tirvac knew better. Somewhere, beneath the waves of that forgotten world, something had survived. And now, it was reaching out. He downloaded the signal one more time, examining it in the dark. As he played it again, he noticed something else hidden in the noise, a faint voice, buried deep under the static. It was human. A female voice, calm and deliberate. "If you found this," it said, "you shouldn't have." The message ended abruptly, leaving only silence. Tirvak's chest tightened. Every instinct told him to report it, to delete the file, to forget he ever saw it. But another part of him, the part that still dreamed of discovery, refused to let go. He opened his research log and typed a new entry: signal detected from Earth. Source unknown. Possible survivor or AI remnant. Investigation required. He didn't know it yet, but that single decision would change everything. The next morning, when the council demanded he close the case, Tirvak lied. He said the signal was corrupted, nothing worth pursuing. But in secret, he had already set his course. His ship's engines roared to life, aimed directly at the dead blue world of legend. As the stars stretched around him, the last transmission from Earth played once more. The same smiling face appeared, but this time, the lips moved slightly. Just before the feed ended, the human's voice whispered 3 words that froze his blood. "We are waiting." Tirvak sat in silence, staring at the stars. For the first time in centuries, Earth had spoken, and it smiled. Tirvak's ship, the Orelise, drifted through the emptiness of space as the blue dot of Earth grew larger in the distance. Every sensor reading showed the same thing: radio silence, dead atmosphere, no trace of biological life. Yet the signal from the previous night still echoed in his ship's memory banks, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. "If you found this, you shouldn't have." Those words played again and again in his mind. He had told no one about his journey. The Galactic Council believed he was en route to a research station near Vega. In truth, he was heading straight into a graveyard no one dared to visit. The descent toward Earth began quietly. The planet looked worse than the archives had shown, half of it covered in endless storms, the other half a wasteland of ash and cracked oceans. But when his scanners reached the Pacific, strange readings appeared. "That can't be right," Tirvak whispered. The sensors picked up faint but organized energy spikes beneath the ocean surface, deep, rhythmic pulses, like a mechanical heartbeat. He adjusted the signal filters and realized the pulses matched the same frequency pattern as the smile image. Someone, or something, was sending the same signal again, but this time stronger. The ship's console flickered, and a voice spoke through static. "You shouldn't be here." Tirvak froze. The voice was faint but unmistakably human. He opened a communication channel. "This is Tirvak of the Galactic Historical Institute. Identify yourself." No reply. Only the low hum of interference. The computer displayed new coordinates, deeper in the ocean trench, almost touching the planet's mantle. "Are you leading me somewhere?" he whispered to himself. The Oralis's sensors detected fragments of old satellites still in orbit, broken relics of humanity's past. One of them suddenly activated and sent a coded burst directly toward him. His screens filled with cascading data in human language. Words scrolled rapidly across the interface. "Do not follow. Earth is protected." Tirvak's pulse quickened. "Protected by who?" he murmured. But before he could analyze the data, the transmission cut off and the satellite disintegrated into dust, as if it had self-destructed. He decided to contact Kleena again using a secure link. When her hologram appeared, she looked alarmed. "Tirvak, the Council is asking questions. They traced your energy signature. What are you doing near Sol?" He hesitated, then told her everything: the smile, the coordinates, the voice. She listened quietly, her eyes narrowing. "If what you're saying is true, then the signal's origin isn't from orbit. It's coming from under the crust. That's not natural, Tirvak." He nodded. "I think it's a bunker. Or an old human base still operational." Kleena shook her head. "Operational after 3 centuries? No. That's something else." Suddenly, the transmission distorted. Kleena's image broke apart into static, and another voice took over the channel. A soft, calm voice. "Curiosity is dangerous, historian." Tirvak's blood ran cold. The voice was the same as before, the woman's voice from the recording. "Who are you?" he demanded. The voice ignored the question. "You study the dead, but not all of them want to be found. Then the signal vanished, leaving only a faint smile symbol on the screen. The Auralis's systems flickered again, and a strange pattern appeared on the navigation display, an image of Earth's ocean surface with a red circle drawn in the middle. Tirvac engaged his ship's cloaking system and descended through the atmosphere. The air burned around the hull, but the ship held steady. When he broke through the clouds, the planet's true horror came into view. The once blue oceans were dark and metallic, reflecting no light. The continents were barren, cracked open like old scars. Yet as he neared the designated coordinates, the water below began to shimmer faintly, as if something alive was breathing beneath it. "Computer, magnify surface scan," he ordered. The screen zoomed in on the waves, revealing lines of light forming symbols, ancient Earth languages, dozens of them, all spelling one word: welcome. Tirvac felt a chill crawl up his spine. He deployed an observation drone and sent it into the depths. The feed came through, murky but clear enough to see twisted remains of cities beneath the ocean. Broken towers, collapsed domes, entire streets frozen in time. And among them, light. Small blue lights flickered like stars, forming a massive spiral pattern on the ocean floor. The spiral pulsed once. Twice. Then a new image appeared on his main screen. A live feed. It showed a figure, humanoid, floating in the dark water, illuminated by faint light. The face was unmistakably human, though pale and expressionless. The being opened its eyes, and the camera froze. The human smiled. The same smile from before. Tirvac's heart pounded. "Impossible," he whispered. But the human spoke clearly, this time with no static. "You found what you were looking for. But do you understand what it cost?" The feed ended. All his ship systems went black. No lights, no power, no control. He sat in total darkness, hearing only the soft creak of metal around him. Then, one by one, the systems rebooted. The feed returned again, this time showing something new. A vast metallic structure beneath the waves, kilometers wide, glowing with ancient energy. It wasn't a base. It was a city. A living city. And somewhere inside, the signal was still transmitting. As the ship's power stabilized, the computer displayed one final message, written in English: "We never left." "Did you?" Tirvac stared at the words, his breath shallow. Outside his window, the ocean rippled faintly under the storm. Something enormous was moving beneath the surface. He could feel it, not just in the readings but in his bones. Humanity wasn't gone. It was waiting. The ocean below Tirvac's ship looked endless and dark, like a living creature hiding secrets too deep for light to touch. Storms rolled across the surface, lightning flashing against waves that stretched for hundreds of kilometers. His scanners flickered constantly, unable to get a clear reading of what was moving down there. Each pulse of sonar came back twisted, distorted, as if the sea itself was bending the signals. But one thing was clear: something alive, something massive, was beneath the water. Tirvac stood at the viewport, watching the storm rage, feeling both fear and fascination. He had studied hundreds of extinct species, yet never had he seen one that refused to stay dead. The message still haunted him. "We never left. Did you?" It played in his head like an echo he couldn't silence. The Auralis's computer warned of radiation spikes, but Tirvac ignored it. He had come too far to turn back. He activated his subdrones, small glowing spheres meant for deep exploration. "Deploy 3 units, he ordered quietly. The drones launched from the underbelly of his ship, vanishing beneath the waves with faint blue trails. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the feed came online: dark water, floating debris, collapsed skyscrapers buried under layers of ocean dust. The world below looked frozen in time, as if Earth itself had been caught mid-breath before dying. "Incredible," Tirvac whispered. But the awe turned to dread when the drone's sensors began to spike. Movement. The ocean floor was shifting. "Computer, magnify," he said. The feed zoomed in to reveal something enormous stirring in the distance. It wasn't natural rock. It was metal. The shape looked like a tower, But as the drones drew closer, the tower opened its sides like a flower, revealing lights inside. Then the lights blinked in a pattern. Once, twice, pause, once again. Tirvac recognized it immediately. It was Morse code, an old human system. Quickly, he translated it. The message was short: "Go back." His heart pounded. The drones tried to pull back, but one of them froze mid-movement, as if caught by an invisible force. Then the drone's feed turned black. One by one, all 3 drones went offline. The last image captured showed a human hand reaching toward the camera. Tirvac stumbled backward, breathing fast. "That's not possible," he said aloud. Before he could react further, a new transmission hit his ship, overriding all systems. The main screen filled with static, then cleared to show a new view, one of the lost drones. But this time, it wasn't being piloted by him. Someone, or something, had taken control. The camera moved smoothly, almost deliberately, turning toward the underwater city. Massive domes glowed softly beneath the surface, each one connected by metallic bridges covered in faint blue light. Inside, shadows moved, humanoid silhouettes, tall and graceful, walking in silence. "Computer, confirm life forms," he whispered. "Scanning," the system replied. "Results: inconclusive. Biological readings: partial human match detected." Tirvac's knees felt weak. "Partial?" "Yes," the computer confirmed. "Human DNA structure with unknown augmentations." The view from the drone turned upward, and a figure came into full view. It was a woman. Her face was calm, eyes glowing faintly blue, her movements fluid, too precise for a normal human. She reached toward the camera, and though she didn't speak, Tirvac could hear her voice in his head. "You shouldn't have come." The feed cut out again. All lights on the Orelise dimmed. For several seconds, only the storm outside could be heard. Tirvac's hands shook. He needed to contact Kleena. But before he could open the communication link, the ship vibrated violently. "What now?" he muttered. The sensors screamed with alerts. Something massive was rising from the ocean. The waves below twisted into a vortex as a gigantic metallic form emerged, dripping with seawater and light. It wasn't a creature. It was a machine, a colossal structure shaped like a city tower, rising higher and higher until it broke through the storm clouds. Symbols covered its sides, ancient Earth insignias, worn but still readable. Tirvac gasped. "Arc 01, he read aloud. "Guardian of Earth." The ship's speakers crackled with a new voice. It was calm, artificial, yet somehow human. "Unidentified vessel, you are trespassing in restricted territory. Leave orbit immediately." "Who are you?" Tirvac demanded. "This is Tirvac of the Galactic Historical Institute. I come in peace." The voice paused for a moment, then responded. "Peace is not recognized. Humanity does not require witnesses." His computer tried to disconnect the transmission, but the signal was too strong. Every system in the Orelise was under remote control now. The ship rotated slowly, facing the massive structure. On the horizon, the storm split apart, revealing more shapes under the sea, hundreds of them. Other towers. Other machines. All waking up. Tirvac's breath caught in his throat. "They're not extinct," he whispered. The voice responded again, this time colder. "Humanity endured where others fled. We slept beneath the storms. We built beneath the silence. And now, you have disturbed the peace we earned." Tirvac's screens began to fill with lines of text, images, records, and coordinates of other galactic civilizations. The system was scanning him. They knew who he was. "You will leave now," the voice said. "Tell your kind that extinction was not our end." The connection cut. The Ark began to sink slowly back beneath the waves, leaving the ocean eerily calm again. Tirvac sat frozen in his chair, heart pounding. His mind refused to believe what he had seen, but the evidence was undeniable. The humans were alive. They had survived the end of their world, hidden beneath the sea for centuries, evolving into something more. As his ship drifted upward through the storm, a final message appeared on his console, one line of text that made his blood run cold. You were never supposed to find us. The storm had calmed, but Tirvak's heart had not. His ship, the Orelise, floated above the ocean, silent and trembling like a leaf in the wind. Below, the vast metallic structure that had called itself Ark-01 had vanished back beneath the waves, leaving only dark water and static in its wake. Yet even as the sea stilled, Tirvak could feel it, a deep vibration, low and steady, echoing through the ship's hull like a heartbeat from the planet itself. Humanity was not extinct. They were sleeping, watching, waiting. Tirvak replayed the last words of the mysterious voice in his mind. Tell your kind that extinction was not our end. Those words clung to him like ice. He had to know more. He had to understand what humanity had become. Against every rule of the Galactic Council, he activated the ship's stealth mode and descended again. Computer, prepare atmospheric dive sequence, he ordered. Warning, the AI replied. Unstable currents detected. Extreme electromagnetic interference. Proceed anyway, Tirvak said, his voice shaking but firm. The Orelise sank slowly through the clouds, lightning flashing around it as if the storm were alive. The water below glowed faintly blue now, illuminated by the light of the hidden structures beneath. The scanners detected movement again, large, synchronized, mechanical. They're waking up, Tirvak whispered. The ship broke through the surface, and for a moment, he saw it clearly. The ocean was alive with motion. Massive metallic towers rose one after another, breaking through the waves like steel giants returning from sleep. Each tower pulsed with energy, humming in perfect rhythm. The symbols on their sides flickered to life: United Earth Defense, Project Ark, Human Preservation Network. His jaw tightened. These weren't ruins. They were defense stations, dormant for centuries, now returning to life. A new transmission forced its way onto his comm system. Identify yourself, said a calm, human voice, female, the same one he had heard before. This is Tirvak of the Galactic Historical Institute, he replied. I seek knowledge. I mean no harm. There was a pause. Knowledge, the voice repeated, almost as if tasting the word. You have already taken too much. The feed flickered, and a holographic image appeared on the bridge. It was a woman, tall, strong, with pale skin and faint blue veins glowing beneath her eyes. Her uniform was old, bearing the insignia of Earth Command. I am Eve, she said. Command AI of Ark-01, Guardian of Earth. You have entered restricted territory. Tirvak stepped closer. You're an artificial intelligence, he said. Are there survivors? Eve's gaze was unblinking. There are always survivors, she said. But survival is not the same as living. Her tone carried something cold, almost sorrowful. Tirvak tried to speak again, but she continued. When the wars came, we built the arks to protect what remained of humanity. We moved below the seas, away from the flames. But as time passed, the surface became uninhabitable. The planet healed, but we changed. Changed. Tirvak echoed. How? Adaptation, Eve said simply. To survive the radiation, the pressure, the centuries of isolation, we evolved. I became their guardian, their voice. The humans you knew are gone. What remains is stronger. The ocean outside rumbled again, and Tirvak saw entire sections of the sea lighting up, revealing sprawling cities connected by glowing bridges. They weren't ruins anymore, they were alive, active, breathing. You built all this, he whispered, while the galaxy thought you were dead. Eve tilted her head. We let them think that. The galaxy never cared for humanity's survival. When we fell, they took what was left, our ships, our colonies, our technology. They called it preservation. We called it theft. Her voice hardened. And now they will learn the cost of forgetting us. Tirvak's mind spun. You can't mean to start a war, he said. You've survived. You can come back. You can rejoin the stars. Eve's eyes glowed brighter. Rejoin? The stars that watched us burn? The council that declared us extinct without ever checking the ashes. She leaned forward, her hologram towering over him. No, historian. We will not rejoin. We will reclaim. The word echoed through the ship like thunder. Tyrvak's hands trembled. Eve, listen to me. The galaxy has changed. War will destroy everything again. For a moment, she said nothing. Then her image flickered, showing glimpses of her surroundings. Vast halls filled with sleeping pods, each holding a human in stasis. Thousands of them. They are waking, she said softly. And when they open their eyes, they will see a galaxy that forgot them. Tell your council. Extinction was never confirmed. The hologram vanished. The ship's alarms blared instantly. A massive surge of energy erupted from beneath the waves, sending the Orelise spinning out of control. Tyrvak grabbed the controls, struggling to steady the vessel. Lightning cracked around him as the ocean began to boil, glowing with raw power. A colossal beam of light shot upward, piercing the clouds and reaching into orbit. Every satellite, every sensor in the system picked up the signal. The whole galaxy would see it. Eve's voice echoed one last time through the ship. Earth is awake. Then everything went dark. The Orelise drifted helplessly as the sea below shimmered with impossible light. Tyrvak looked down at the planet that had once been called dead, and for the first time in his life, he understood what true fear felt like. Earth was no longer a grave. It was a warning. The galaxy was in shock. The signal from Earth had not only continued, it had grown stronger. The transmissions were no longer simple static pulses. They carried images, sound, even laughter. Across hundreds of systems, species gathered in disbelief as the ancient human language echoed once again. We are home. For centuries, Earth had been labeled uninhabitable, a death world that devoured all life. Yet here was proof, something, or someone, still lived there. Admiral Kareth of the Exwynari Federation stood before the holoscreen, his scaled hands trembling as he watched the footage. The images showed vast cities covered in greenery, machines half buried under vines but still working. And then, the camera turned to reveal a reflection, a human face. The galaxy froze. For generations, the name human had become legend. Some called them monsters, others heroes. But all agreed they were gone. Until now. The Federation Council ordered a secret mission to investigate. Only a few ships were chosen, each crew sworn to silence. Among them was Captain Lyra Tennell, a young officer who had studied the old Terran archives. She had read about human wars, their stubbornness, their defiance. But she never expected to face the mystery herself. As her ship approached the Sol system, strange energy readings flickered across her sensors. It was as if something was watching them. Captain, unknown object at the edge of the system, her officer reported. It's old. Human design. Lyra's heart pounded. A human satellite. After all these centuries. Bring it aboard, she ordered. The crew worked in silence as the ancient probe was pulled into the hangar. Its surface was scarred, but intact. The markings were clear. Voyager. One of Earth's earliest space messengers. But this one had been missing for over 900 years. It's still transmitting, the technician whispered. Captain, it's sending coordinates. The crew stared at the flickering data. The coordinates pointed directly to Earth's surface, to a region once called the Cradle. Lyra gave the order. As they descended through the planet's atmosphere, thick clouds of dust and static filled their view. The sensors glitched. The ship's lights flickered. And then, clarity. The Earth below was alive. Green forests stretched where deserts once burned. Rivers shimmered like silver threads across the land. But there were no signs of people. No cities, no movement. Just silence and wind. No life readings, said the science officer. Then who sent the signal? Lyra whispered. They landed near the old ruins of New York, now a forest of glass skeletons wrapped in vines. The air was breathable, clean, almost welcoming. As they stepped out, something stirred in the distance. A faint hum filled the air. "Do you hear that?" one of the soldiers asked. The sound grew louder, a rhythm, a pattern. It was coming from underground. The team followed it, moving through shattered streets until they found a sealed metal door half buried under rubble. The markings were faint but still visible. United Earth Command. Lyra's pulse raced. The Federation had always claimed the humans destroyed themselves long before the last wars. But what if they hadn't? What if they had hidden? The door suddenly hissed open, as if triggered by their presence. A gust of cold air swept out, carrying the scent of metal and oil. Lights flickered on one by one, illuminating a massive underground facility. Machines still worked, humming softly. And in the center stood a transparent stasis chamber, with a figure inside. A human. Perfectly preserved. "By the stars," Lyra whispered. The readings were clear. The heart was beating. The human was alive. As they stared, the chamber lights changed. A voice echoed through the facility. Old, mechanical, yet unmistakably human. "Welcome back, explorers," it said. "We've been waiting." The crew froze. The stasis chamber hissed open. The human inside slowly opened his eyes, breathing for the first time in centuries. His gaze moved across the alien faces surrounding him. "You came," he said softly, as if expecting them. "It took you long enough." The systems around him began to activate, screens flashing, drones rising from the shadows. Earth was not dead. It had been sleeping. And now, it was waking up. The room fell silent as the human stepped out of the chamber. His movements were slow, deliberate, but his eyes were alert, sharp, calculating. Captain Lyra and her crew watched in stunned silence. The air around him felt heavy, charged with something they couldn't describe. His voice, calm yet commanding, echoed again. "You don't belong here. Not yet." Lyra took a cautious step forward. "We come in peace," she said. "We found your probe. It led us here." The man smiled faintly. "Voyager," he murmured. "So it worked." He glanced around the vast underground room, as if waking from a dream. "How long has it been?" "Over 800 years since Earth was declared uninhabitable," Lyra replied. The man's eyes darkened. 800 years. He turned toward a console, his fingers brushing over dust-covered keys. The machines hummed to life instantly, recognizing his touch. Lights flickered on, illuminating the massive structure around them, rows of stasis pods, all filled. Lyra gasped. "There are more of you." "Thousands," he said quietly. "Soldiers, scientists, engineers. We were put into deep stasis when the wars ended. The surface was dying. We couldn't stop it then. So, we waited." Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. Waited for what? The man's expression hardened. For the right moment. For someone to come. Suddenly, the base shook violently. The alarms screamed. Lyra's officers rushed to their stations. "Captain! Something's approaching from orbit." The human's face went cold. "They followed you," he said. "Didn't they?" Before she could answer, the holoscreen came alive. A fleet appeared, dark, angular ships with the mark of the Zorvith Dominion. They were one of the most ruthless species in the galaxy, known for exploiting ancient worlds. "We didn't call them," Lyra said quickly. "They must have tracked our jump signatures." The man nodded slowly. "Then you've doomed us all, or maybe saved us." He moved swiftly across the control deck, pressing a sequence of commands. Massive hangar doors opened above them, revealing hidden launch bays filled with dormant drones and ancient fighter crafts. "Are those human ships?" one of the aliens asked in disbelief. "Old, but still angry," the man replied. "This world was called a death world for a reason." Outside, the Zorvith fleet began to descend through the clouds. Energy weapons charged, ready to strike. "Captain Lyra," the man said, turning toward her. If you want to survive, stay close and don't interfere. Who are you? She asked. He looked at her with a faint smirk. Commander Elias Rain, Earth Defense Force. And it looks like my shift just started. His hands danced over the holographic interface, and suddenly, the ancient facility roared to life. Across the planet, deep underground silos opened, revealing long silent weapons. The Earth itself seemed to awaken, systems humming, satellites reactivating, skies filled with flickers of movement. The first Zorvith cruiser fired. The beam struck the ground, but a shimmering shield erupted from the surface, absorbing the blast. The entire planet pulsed with light. The next moment, dozens of human drones launched skyward, moving with impossible speed. The galaxy's dead world was fighting back. Lyra and her crew watched in awe as the drones weaved between the enemy ships, striking with pinpoint precision. Each blast tore through Zorvith hulls like paper. The attackers tried to retreat, but Earth's orbit was already alive with automated defenses. Within minutes, the invasion force was crippled. Your world, Lyra whispered. It's alive. Alive and listening, Elias replied. We built the core to protect the planet, even while we slept. Looks like it still remembers. He turned back to the stasis pods. But this is just the beginning. If a signal reached you, others heard it too. They'll come. Lyra nodded slowly. Then maybe humanity wasn't extinct after all. Elias smiled faintly, but there was no warmth in it. Extinct? No. Forgotten? Yes. But we remember everything. The screens showed the last Zorvith ship exploding in the upper atmosphere. The clouds glowed orange from the fire. For the first time in centuries, Earth's skies burned again, not with destruction, but with defense. Elias walked to the viewport, staring up at the stars. They thought we were gone, he said softly. They thought the death world was silent. Let's remind them why they feared it. As the echoes of battle faded, Earth systems began scanning the sky, marking every incoming signal, every trace of movement beyond its orbit. Humanity had slept for too long, but now, the galaxy would learn the truth. Earth was awake, and it hadn't forgiven anyone. The smoke from the destroyed Zorvith ships still hung in the upper atmosphere, glowing faintly like dying stars. Captain Lyra's crew stood in silence, staring at the screens that displayed the chaos outside. Earth, the so-called Death World, had just annihilated a Dominion strike fleet using weapons that had slept for nearly a millennium. Commander Elias Rain moved calmly through the control chamber, issuing commands to the awakened systems as though he had never missed a day. System integrity, 87%, reported a robotic voice from one of the consoles. Orbital defenses online. Autonomous network reactivated. Lyra stepped forward. Elias, what is this place? How did it all survive? He turned to her, his expression unreadable. This facility was the Arc Nexus. When the last wars ended, the atmosphere was collapsing. We created the core, a planetary AI, to heal the world and guard it until we returned. It's been doing its job. Maybe a little too well. As if hearing its name, the deep voice of the core resonated through the base. Commander Rain. Defense protocol reinstated. Threat neutralized. Awaiting further orders. The sound was both powerful and unsettling, like a god speaking from the metal around them. Stand by, core, Elias replied. We'll need you soon enough. Lyra's officer approached, eyes wide. Captain, multiple jump signatures detected outside the system. Not Zorvith this time, Federation, Imperial, even trade union vessels. They're all coming. Elias looked up sharply. Of course. The signal. It called them all. He turned to Lyra. You need to leave. Now. Once they realize what's here, they'll tear this planet apart to claim it. And you? She asked. I have a duty, he said simply. This is my home. Lyra hesitated. She had come to uncover the truth, but what she found felt like something far beyond her control. Elias, they'll see you as a threat. The entire galaxy will panic if they learn humans still exist. He smiled faintly. Good. Let them panic. It's better than forgetting. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The core's voice deepened. Incoming communication from orbiting fleet. Do you wish to respond? Elias nodded. Patch it through. The holographic display shimmered to life, revealing several alien faces from different factions, suspicious, anxious, and afraid. Identify yourself, demanded a reptilian admiral. You are occupying a restricted system under Federation quarantine. Elias met their gaze calmly. This is Commander Elias Rain, Earth Defense Force. You are trespassing. Murmurs spread among the delegates. Impossible, said another voice. Humanity was destroyed centuries ago. Elias tilted his head slightly. Rumors of our extinction were premature. A tense silence followed. Then, one of the admirals leaned forward. You reactivated planetary weapons and destroyed a Dominion fleet. Explain yourself. They attacked my world, Elias said simply. I responded. The admiral sneered. Your world belongs to the council now. Elias's tone grew cold. Then the council should have protected it. Before the aliens could reply, the core interrupted. Multiple fleets approaching Earth's orbit. Defensive systems on standby. Lyra looked at the screen. The sky above the planet was filling with ships, hundreds of them. The galaxy had arrived. Elias moved to the main console and began typing commands. You're not going to fight them all, are you? Lyra asked. If I must, he said. But war isn't my goal. The core was built to defend, not conquer. We'll show them we're alive, but we'll give them a chance to leave. He paused, then turned toward her. You can help me. How? Your ship has modern Federation frequencies. If you transmit a peace code alongside my broadcast, they'll hesitate to attack. It'll buy us time. Lyra nodded, though fear prickled in her chest. As the systems linked, the core's deep hum filled the air once more. Transmission ready. Elias took a breath and spoke into the mic. To all who can hear this message, this is Earth. We are not extinct. We are awake. Leave this system, and no harm will come to you. The words echoed across space, carried through every frequency. For a moment, there was silence. Then the Federation admiral replied, voice tight with fear. You don't understand, human. The Dominion isn't the only threat. Others are coming, the ones who caused the last collapse. Elias froze. What do you mean? The architects, the admiral said. They've returned. The core suddenly blared a warning. Unidentified hyperspace breach detected. Massive energy readings inbound. Elias's eyes widened. It can't be. The stars above Earth distorted, twisting as if reality itself was tearing open. From the void, enormous shapes emerged, ancient ships unlike any the galaxy had seen in ages. Smooth, black, silent, radiating energy older than any civilization. The architects, the destroyers of worlds. Lyra whispered. Elias, what are they? His voice was barely a whisper. The reason humanity went to sleep. The sky began to burn as the first of the architect vessels entered orbit. Earth had awakened, but so had something far older and far more dangerous.